Something strange is going on in Chicago, and it's happening right in the trenches. The offensive tackle situation with the Bears has officially entered mystery territory. Braxton Jones, once a steady presence on the left side, suddenly finds himself on the bench. Not because of an injury, not because of disciplinary action, but simply because there's been no official explanation. The coaching staff is being vague. No injury report, no clarification, just silence. And in his place, a shakeup that left everyone scratching their heads. Trapillo steps in, but not exactly in a straight swap. Instead of just slotting him in at right tackle and keeping the rest of the line intact, the Bears made a complete flip. Theo Benedict goes to left tackle. Braxton Jones hits the sideline, and suddenly you're left wondering, is this just a mid-game spark move or a full-on shift in the hierarchy? And here's where it gets even more interesting. According to Ben Johnson, the team already planned to give AZ some snaps before kickoff. So it wasn't an emotional decision in the heat of the game. It was intentional. Pre-planned. They were going to see what the rookie second-rounder could do on the field. But what does that mean for the veteran? Braxton Jones wasn't playing great, sure, but he also wasn't playing terribly. Before the injury, he was serviceable, and now after his return, he's seemingly expendable. Is that a reflection of how much faith the Bears have in Trapillo, or how little faith they have left in Jones? Here's what seems clear. Chicago is in evaluation mode. This isn't just about who gives them the best chance to win next Sunday. It's about building for the future. It's about figuring out who's going to protect Caleb Williams next season and the season after that. Braxton Jones is in a contract year. Theo Benedict, for all his ups and downs, is under contract for a while. Darnell Wright is the most talented tackle on the roster and could theoretically flip to the left side. And AZ Trapillo? The Bears have been hyping his intelligence and adaptability since day one. He's been impressing in meetings and training camp, and now they're seeing if that can translate to Sundays. But again, the move wasn't clean. AZ didn't just step in a Braxton spot. They shuffled everything to get him onto the field. That tells you something. That tells you they're prioritizing his development. And if he can't stick at left tackle, they'll make room for him at right. Which then leads to the next big question. Does Darnell Wright move to the left side? Now that is a gamble. Wright has all the tools, size, athleticism, footwork to play on the left. He did it at Tennessee before switching to right tackle in his final year. But making that change in the middle of an NFL season while recovering from an elbow injury, that's not a small request. That's a complete reset. Technique, hand placement, mental processing, it all changes. And yet, that might be the Bears' best-case scenario. Imagine a future where Wright locks down the left side and Trapillo grows into a reliable force on the right. That's two young, controllable tackles protecting your franchise quarterback. That's the dream. But for now, it's still a dream. Because in his first real NFL action, Trapillo showed flashes, but also growing pains. Against the Raiders, he lined up for 40 snaps at right tackle. And his assignment? Oh, just one of the best edge rushers in the league. Max Crosby. No big deal, right? And here's the thing. Trapillo held his own. Early on, Crosby was wreaking havoc, destroying Theo Benedict on the edge. But once the Bears made the switch, Trapillo in at right, Theo to the left, Braxton out, Crosby's dominance slowed. At least for a while. He wasn't as disruptive on a snap-to-snap basis. That's not to say AZ shut him down. In the fourth quarter, Crosby turned it back on and got the best of him a couple times. Caleb Williams had to escape pressure, avoid sacks. That's what great players do. They eventually find a way. But for a rookie in his first serious NFL reps to come in and give Crosby a real challenge, that's worth noting. Now, let's talk about grades. And no, not the kind from your high school report card. PFF grades. They don't always tell the full story, but they give us something to work with. And what they gave AZ Trapillo after that game was, well, confusing. He allowed 2 pressures in 26 pass blocking snaps. Not great, but not terrible either, especially against an elite rusher. His reward? A 30.8 pass blocking grade. Meanwhile, Braxton Jones also gave up 2 pressures, but on fewer snaps, just 18. And somehow, he ends up with a 65.8 grade. Double the grade, same stat line. Make it make sense. This is where PFF gets murky. Are they grading based on potential pressures? Are they counting near misses as losses? Are they grading him more harshly because he's new or because of the situations in which those pressures occurred? That's the kind of nuance we don't get to see. And that's why players, coaches, and analysts often say, take the grades with a grain of salt. But the eye test? That's a little easier. And former players are noticing. Kyle Long, a guy who knows a thing or two about playing offensive line in Chicago, tweeted that Trapillo looked poised, patient, understood his assignments, helped when he needed to help, and peeled off when he needed to get back to his man. That's mental maturity. That's film room work showing up on the field. And that's exactly what the Bears were raving about during the offseason. Smart player. High football IQ. He's still raw, but he understands what he's supposed to do. That's half the battle. The other half is physical execution. And with time, that part might catch up. So the Bears have a real decision to make. Do you keep trying to make Trapillo work at left tackle? Or do you accept that he's more natural on the right and rearrange the line to make it work? That could mean Darnell Wright has to make that uncomfortable move to the blind side. And maybe he's not 100% ready to do that. But if he can be close to the player he is on the right side, and it means getting your two best tackles on the field, maybe that's a trade-off worth making. And here's the kicker. Ben Johnson said it himself. They're evaluating everything. Every tackle, every rep, every combination. Nothing is set in stone. And with a bye week to retool, it's the perfect time for change. Don't be surprised if the Bears roll out a completely different tackle duo when they return. Maybe Braxton comes back. Maybe he doesn't. Maybe Darnell flips sides. Maybe AZ takes over a starting job. One thing's for sure. The coaching staff wants Trapillo on the field. And when teams want to get a rookie on the field, especially on the offensive line, it means they see something. It means he's part of the long-term plan. The conversation around this Bears offense doesn't stop at the trenches. While the offensive line remains a puzzle in progress, the spotlight is starting to shine a little brighter on another key piece of this team, Kmet. Let's not sugarcoat it. His performance against the Raiders was rough. No other way to describe it. It was the kind of game that leaves it tight and walking off the field staring at the turf, knowing full well he left too many plays out there. And the truth is, when your team is trying to develop a rookie quarterback, when every drive counts, and when momentum swings on a single snap, your most reliable targets can't afford to disappear. That's what made Kmet's outing so frustrating. He didn't just have a quiet day. He had a damaging one. Start with the drops. There were two clear ones. One was a strike right down the seam that would have set the Bears up inside the 5-yard line. Not only was it a well-placed throw from Caleb Williams, it was the kind of opportunity that Kmet is expected to capitalize on. That's why he's on the field. That's why he's a leader in this offense. That's the ball you have to come down with. And it's not just about the catch itself, it's about the moment. That play could have changed the entire tone of the drive, maybe even the game. Instead, it slipped through his hands. Then came the check-down drop later in the game. Shorter pass, less pressure, still the same result. Ball on the turf, drive stalls, and another missed opportunity. But didn't stop there. The mistakes piled up. False starts. 2 of them, one of which came on a critical 4th and 1 situation, out of timeout. Those are the kinds of errors that don't just frustrate fans. They shake the confidence of a team. You dial up your play, get ready to go, and you're veteran tight and jumps early. Now you're punting. And yeah, sure, that drive happened to end in a perfectly placed punt that pinned the Raiders deep. But that's not the point. The goal wasn't to play the field position game. The goal was to convert, to move the chains, to take control. That false start took the decision out of the coach's hands. Now, to be fair, Kmet has earned enough respect in this league and in this locker room that you trust he'll own it. He's always been an accountability guy. He knows that wasn't the performance he's capable of, and he knows how much was riding on those mistakes. Everyone has bad games, but this one, it was a bad game with big consequences. And it came on a day when the Bears needed him to be the dependable safety valve for a young quarterback trying to stay upright under relentless pressure. With no Marcedes Lewis on the field, no other big-bodied tight end out there to shoulder some of the load, Kmet had to step up. And he didn't. Let's bring it back to Caleb Williams for a second. Because as up and down as the offense has been, he continues to show flashes of exactly why the Bears took him with the top pick. The box score might not jump out, just over 200 passing yards, a touchdown, interception, but that doesn't begin to capture the full picture. Caleb's poise, especially late in the game, stood out in a major way. Down the stretch, he was decisive. 4 for 5 on that final drive, including the game winner. And the throw that gave the Bears the lead in the third quarter might have been the best of his young career. Let's talk about that touchdown pass to Rome. Third down. The Raiders bring 6. He stays calm in the pocket, takes his drop, hitches once, and rips it. The ball is already in the air before the receiver even begins his break. It's a timing throw. It's a trust throw. And it's a laser. The kind of throw that gives you chills when you realize how hard that is to pull off in real time against NFL speed. That's a big-time moment from a quarterback still finding his way. And it's plays like that that show why this team is willing to be patient through the growing pains. Because the upside is sky high. But even the most talented quarterback needs help. And that's where the Bears still need to grow. Caleb faced pressure all afternoon, much of it thanks to Max Crosby doing Max Crosby things. Blowing up screens, reading plays before they developed, jumping passing lanes, even picking off a pass with a freakish tip to himself. The guy was everywhere. And that kind of disruption affects everything. It changes timing. It speeds up a quarterback's internal clock. And it creates chaos. Caleb handled it about as well as you can expect from a rookie, but you could tell he was rattled at times. You could tell he was trying to process quickly and still make something happen. And sometimes that led to misfires. But to his credit, he bounced back. He made adjustments. He kept swinging. And ultimately, he delivered when it mattered most. That's what separates guys who just have the tools from the ones who actually put together. You don't have to be perfect. You just have to be clutch when it counts. That's what Caleb was. And even though the stat sheet says he had a pick, that play was more about Crosby being superhuman than any big mistake from the quarterback. 1 minute he's lined up to blitz, the next he's dropping back, tipping the pass to himself. That's just football chaos at its highest level. What you want to see from your young quarterback is how he responds. Does he get gun-shy? Does he try to play hero ball every snap? Or does he settle in, trust the process, and find ways to win? Caleb showed he can take a hit, both physically and mentally, and come back stronger. The moment wasn't too big. The game sped up, sure, but he didn't panic. And if you're a Bears fan, that's exactly what you want. Because games like this are part of the learning curve. The wins won't always be pretty. The stat lines won't always dazzle. But if your quarterback is learning how to lead, how to grind through adversity, how to finish, that's progress. And again, we can't ignore how different the box score would look if just a couple more plays had gone his way. If Kmet doesn't drop that seam route. If the scramble drill connection lands. If those false starts don't kill drives. Caleb could have easily ended the day with close to 300 yards and a second touchdown. The numbers don't always tell the full story. But the tape tells you that this kid is figuring it out. Before we continue, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and give this video a like. Your support helps us keep bringing you the latest updates on our Chicago Bears. And don't be shy. Drop your thoughts on the news in the comments below. Rumors are swirling around the Chicago Bears locker room after what insiders are calling a heated altercation between Daniel Hardy and Tyson BAGENT. According to sources close to the team, the confrontation took place earlier this week and was serious enough that both players have been temporarily removed from the active roster. Neither the Bears organization nor the players involved have released official statements, but multiple reports suggest that tensions between Hardy and BAGENT have been simmering for some time. Witnesses claim that the disagreement began during a routine practice session and escalated behind closed doors in the locker room. Some teammates reportedly tried to intervene, but the situation became so intense that coaching staff decided immediate action was necessary. While the precise cause of the dispute remains unclear, speculation is already rampant. Could it be a clash of personalities, a disagreement over playing time, or a deeper issue within the locker room dynamics? Sources hint that both players are highly competitive, which may have contributed to the explosive encounter. The timing of this incident couldn't be more sensitive, as the Bears are navigating a critical stretch of the season. Analysts are debating the potential fallout, with some suggesting that removing two key players, even temporarily, could disrupt team chemistry and impact performance on the field. Others argue that this decisive action might actually restore balance, sending a message that behavior and professionalism are non-negotiable in the locker room. Social media has already lit up with speculation. Fans are divided. Some are calling for both Hardy and BAGENT to be permanently benched, while others are urging patience, arguing that internal conflict can sometimes lead to stronger bonds once resolved. Behind the scenes, sources claim management is evaluating its options carefully, considering everything from counseling sessions to fines or even trades, depending on how the players respond in the coming days. For now, the Bears remain tight-lipped, but one thing is certain. The locker room drama involving Daniel Hardy and Tyson BAGENT has put the team squarely in the headlines. Fans and pundits alike will be watching closely to see how the situation unfolds, and whether this internal clash will become a turning point for the team or a story that haunts them for the rest of the season. That's it for this update. If you enjoyed the video and want to stay updated with exclusive news about our Chicago Bears, be sure to subscribe to our channel and hit that like button. We can't wait to hear your thoughts in the comments. See you in the next video.